Alright guys, we have a 2007 Honda CR-V here with a 2.4 liter. We're going to go through a quick walkthrough of how to diagnose this code. So you have a p2646 for the VTEC oil pressure switch circuit low voltage. So usually, we're going to start with checking the oil level, making sure the oil is good, because if you're low on oil or the oil is real dirty, it'll keep these from working correctly and they'll kind of stick a little bit. So we're going to start with turning the engine off, going out, checking the oil, and then we'll move on from there, checking the solenoids. Alright guys, so in this part of the video, I had to actually mute the sound because I didn't want to get copyrighted for the music, but I'm just checking the oil on the dipstick. So you take it out, wipe it down, put it back in again, and then you can take it back out and check the level. On this car was actually a little bit low, about a quart. Once I filled it up, it came up to the top dot. The top dot is the full mark and the bottom one is the lowest, and my oil was just a tad bit under the lower one. So in this case, you fill it up and get it to where it needs to be. That way you can figure out if that was the cause of the code or not. So in this part of the video, I'm showing you guys the most common thing to cause this code. This is the VTEC solenoid on the back right side of the engine. There are 3 bolts holding it in, and I believe there's just those 2 plugs on the top. You guys can pull that off, and there's actually a screen in there that you can try to clean if it's all gunked up. But those are the most common thing to go bad, and if you have it off, you might as well just replace it anyway. So the next part is on the passenger side of the engine. There's also a little plastic cover with a bolt that has a screen behind that. I'm going to show that to you guys next. So down right behind the fuel pump, or the power steering pump, there's this little square cover that has a bolt on it. There might even be one on the bottom. I'm trying to get the camera to focus here for this one. So you can see that bolt right at the top there. And there might be one on the bottom, I'm not 100% sure. And then you have the other VVT solenoid right there, where that little wire harness is going into. And that has a bolt on the front of it, towards the front of the engine, to get that out. And same thing with that, you can try to clean that up. That has a couple screens in it, and you can actually touch the power, like put power and ground to it and see if it actuates or not. And if you have a good enough scan tool, you could use the scan tool to check that. So this is a picture of the VTEC spool valve or solenoid in the back of the engine. You can see in the top right that is the that's the screen that you would clean out if it was dirty and gunked up. But that's basically what you would be replacing if you wanted to do the one on the back of the engine, and that is the most common one, again, that would need to be fixed. So guys, I basically narrowed it down to the oil being low on this thing. I put about almost a quart in it, and that seems to have fixed the problem for the most part. I know that solenoid was already replaced not long ago, so it's not that. Just wanted to show you guys another thing you could check. If you have a decent scan tool, you can pull up the live data, get the VTEC solenoid pressure switch, VTEC status, and VTEC solenoid. You can check all these out, make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. You can go under the hood and actually unplug the plugs on that VTEC solenoid and watch these change and make sure that they're changing and the computer's recognizing it. You guys can also unplug the pressure switch plug off of the solenoid and check that for 12 volts and ground on that. Other than that, I mean, you guys can also clean out those screens or filters, whatever you want to call them. But a lot of times it's just that VVT solenoid or VTEC solenoid going bad and sticking out just from being old. This car had probably 130,000 miles when the last one was replaced. So that's all for this video. As always, thanks for watching. If this video helped you guys out, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe.